Well, I'm excited to hang out today, guys. We're going to be having a living room conversation over the topic of Dream Team. And I think there's no one better to talk about Dream Team than you two. So why don't you take a second, maybe introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been serving at conference.
Right. I am Shauna Austin. This will be my 12th year serving at conference. We love it.
That's awesome. 12 years.
So, my name's Ben Austin, and this is also 12 years for me.
Yeah.
Started out as something we could do together, and then something we realized that both of us love for different reasons, but really feed off of it.
Man, that's incredible. So 12 years. Talk to me about the first year you served Motion Conference. What did that look like?
Okay. The first year I served Motion Conference was the first year that we were at the BJCC.
Yeah. Where it was
And
half the arena.
It was half.
Yeah.
And I knew no one.
Yeah.
And back then you had to start on the perimeter team. Like
There's
it was
levels.
almost like a level. Like
Yeah.
you had to make your way.
A light hazing, maybe a little more fruit. You got to earn your way onto the
had to
direct.
earn your
Perimeter, and then slowly you'll make your way into the arena. Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I'll put in my time. And so I started on the perimeter team, sweated
Yeah.
the whole way through.
Well,
It was wonderful.
Some people might not know this, but in Alabama, July, it's
July.
very hot.
It's very hot.
You're
And on the
basically
pavement.
you're basically swimming outside
Yeah.
of the perimeter.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're sweating. So you're out there
So I'm
all
out
3
there.
days.
Oh, all 3
Talk
days.
to me about that first serve. What was it like?
gosh.
Through the sweats, through the tear, what was it?
I mean, I knew no one. I knew some people who were in leadership, but I knew no one. I was out there just talking to people, welcoming them in, sweating, just like, hey, I'm here. I'm here. And if this is what it's going to take, I'm going to do it. And through that, I just knew that even through the sweat and the tears, I knew this is something that I want to be a part of for the rest of my life. And so I started there, and then the next year I was asked to lead. And it was, I was asked to lead the concourse team.
Yeah.
We didn't have radios. So, I mean, I just spent the whole time literally running the concourse and just making laps. And it was amazing and beautiful and great.
If we were unsure where somebody was or where something was in the concourse, she would go one direction, I would go the other direction.
Yeah.
And one of us would find it or meet there, and we would handle it.
Well, I'm glad that we make things better, and
Oh,
we
yes.
got radios.
We got radios.
But I think you're talking about something really important. You talked about your first serve. You were in the perimeter. Some might say, behind the scenes, or really you are the first person they see, but it's not a flashy serve. Maybe Ben, talk a little bit about that. Like what is I think about every dream teamer that has taken 3 days out of their summer where they're asking off of work to come and be a part of a conference where maybe they might not even be seen. Like, tell me why do people do it?
Yeah, I mean, my experience, and I've heard so many others over the years echo this. Somebody poured in the hours and the time, as I grew up in student ministry, to make sure that I had a chance to get in the room and encounter the presence of God. And, and after that encounter, to have the conversation after, like, hey, how is God moving? How are you responding to this? Yeah. And so it's easy for me to jump in on either side of those, to be the one that can help get a car parked, that can high five a middle schooler on his way in to check in at the perimeter, to, direct a bus that's got to go pick up, an out of town campus, or to, do something to close a curtain out in the concourse, like these things that feel so unseen. But if it means the hours get put in for 3 days in a July, that, a high schooler hears a message that really lands for the first time, that experiences worship with their friends like they've never experienced it before. Somebody hears a call in their life that they may not have if they were sitting at home, or if they, felt a little isolated, like all because something I did behind the scenes gave them a chance to get where the Lord really planned for them to be.
Yeah. I think there's a phrase we say around here that every chair is a God opportunity. Mm-hmm. So we think that every single student that's walking into that arena, it's an opportunity for them to meet God, for them to really start on this journey of what God has for them. And you said it, so many students get called during that conference. And I think that's what makes us come back every single year. So 12 years of serving Motion Conference. Tell me about a story or a moment that just keeps you coming back. Like, what is a moment that marked you, a moment that you're like, this is why I will serve on the perimeter team, I will serve on the concourse team, I will do whatever it takes. Tell me about that.
I think for me, honestly, I love stepping into the room and seeing students lifting their hands, having a life change moment. But honestly, for me, what keeps me coming back is the dream team.
Yeah.
And my team, and it makes me emotional every time I talk about it, but they are just my people.
Yeah.
And to see that these people, they take off of work, they show up, and they do it with a smile on their face, and they do it because they see this generation and they know that there's more. And every single year, I get to have an encounter with somebody new or somebody who is an OG concourse dream teamer who has had their life changed. So even within the team, we're seeing life change, and I think that that's what keeps me coming back. Yes, we're there for the students, but even us, we're getting changed through that, and I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, and so it's just special.
That's awesome. Ben, what would you say?
I think back to the Friday night session. It was Conference 23. The Friday night session, Rich Wilkerson spoke. Brooke Leagerwood was leading worship. And I'm really proud of the structure and the plan. We really execute with excellence every conference. And we work really hard to have a plan and a structure. But, we're also so willing and open to respond when the Spirit moves. And as the session was going on, everybody from a dream team perspective really got a feeling for there's a powerful move here. No matter what the schedule says, no matter what we planned next, no matter what time it is, no matter what team you're serving on, we all are very aware of a move of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what team you were serving on. We all really did a great job of kind of closing out a lot of the distractions. And almost every dream teamer, whether you kind of came out of Dream Team Central or moved from outside to inside or from in the concourse to in the arena, almost everybody was around the edge of the arena, really praying for these students, worshiping along with these students, watching as Rich kind of comes off the stage into the crowd and is laying hands, praying on students. These are students receiving healing, receiving vision for their life. Yeah. These are students, being freed from things. And we're just, we're a couple thousand folks in a highlighter green shirt that just want to find a way, hey, how can I make sure that this middle schooler, gets to experience this the right way? Yeah. Like it made it easier. It doesn't matter how tired we were, no matter how much caffeine we were going to eat the next day, no matter how much our feet were going to hurt that next day. It was, hey, I can't wait to get up and get back in that room, get back in that building one more time.
Man, that's powerful. And, I love Motion Conference because every year there's a crazy story that comes out of it. Why don't you tell me about maybe a moment at conference that you look back on and you just laugh? You're like, you can't believe this happened, or anything you have that comes to mind.
We can talk about it because he is totally okay. He recovered
yes,
just fine.
I know what you're going to say.
Jose, who has served very faithfully with the concourse team for years and years and years, has such a heart for this generation of students, is bilingual, loves speaking life into our students in Spanish and English, whatever it may be, whether it's a high five or a hug or just walking with them. Jose would do anything for this generation. Yeah. And, doors open is always a chaotic time a little bit, to go from 0 people in the arena to 10, 12, 13,000 people.
It's a stampede.
It's a rush. It's a rush of folks. Yeah. And so, you open all these doors simultaneously, and Jose got a little rolled up, and a few folks very excited to get in.
He was in the way of some students. And he got a little tousled.
Yeah. He got ran over.
Yeah,
he got ran over.
Yeah. We got him back up, and we can share the story because he was totally fine. We dusted him off. We got him good. He finished his serve faithfully too.
Come on, man.
That was the key, man.
Got ran over, and then he finished.
We were ready. We were ready to mobilize the whole team, whatever it took.
And he popped up like, "I'm good. It's fine." And he glory to God. And I'm like, there's no one like you. Yeah. Like, I would be crying in the corner of like, oh my gosh, like traumatized.
Yeah.
And he's
in
like,
the arena club. I'm out. Yeah.
And he's like, it's fine. Everything's great. And,
so
because the students are happy. And he kept saying, it's fine. They're just happy. They're excited to be here. And I'm like, shouldn't we all have that?
It's great perspective.
That perspective of
That's
like,
great.
they're.
So Ben, if you get ran over next year, you got to remember that it's all about the students.
Exactly. If Jose can bounce back up and finish the serve, I can finish the serve. I got to do it. Can finish the serve. Yep.
Well, thank y'all so much for taking the time today. A phrase we say around here is that it's dream team every day. And we're just grateful because y'all don't just take 3 days out of the year. Y'all do this 365 days out of the year where you're thinking about conference, you're thinking about students, you're thinking about the people of Church of the Highlands. And we're just grateful to have people like you guys. So we love y'all a ton and we're grateful for this year, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Yep.